Hey, welcome. Start up today's stream. Make sure everything's working. Today we're going to pick up where we left off last time, which is oops, this is working with multiple documents in loose leaf. There we go. Awesome. A little bit of success there, getting things going. How's everybody doing? All right, good deal. George, how you doing? Glad to have you in the room. Oh, not a mucho, man. Just getting the party started. We are working on loose leaf. So past couple days we have been, got it up on the screen here. So it's our sketch app, right? You pinch down, you see the list. It's not scrolling for me, which makes me nervous. But anyway, so we're working up here at this part up here, which is our notes. And then this is one document. Then if you hit the plus button, you get another document, you get another document, et cetera, right? And what we're working on is it used to just be one stack of pages, and now we're being able to switch between multiple stacks of pages. That's the idea. But for some reason, my scroll on my iPad is not happy, so I might have screwed something up there. Yeah, looks like we left that bug open from last time. I did. I added an add button. That's exactly right. Yeah, so we got we have multiple stacks now, so you can switch between them. So here's stack number 2, right? You can switch back to stack number 1. But it's ugly here at the top, and that's the part that I think I want to fix today. Is I want to fix the ugly, and then so this is fixing the ugly, and then this is just a little bit more functionality. So if you have a lot of pages, then you can drag a page and you can reorganize stuff. And I want to be able to drag it up here to change which stack it's in, so I can drag it to a different stack of pages. But before I do that, I want to fix this this scroll. Oh wait, no, I didn't screw up the scroll. I just didn't have enough pages to scroll. Usually I have much longer stacks of pages, but I only have like 5, so that's fine. Problem solved. Look at us fixing stuff so fast. You're doing so good. All right, so we are going to, I think this guy right here is only a scroll view. I think, so I've been debating in my head, this is my debate. I've been debating the fastest bug fix ever, that's right. Yeah, we are professional, so good. We are, my debate internally is pretty much this entire app uses scroll view. I've come to really love just scroll view and then manage all of the subviews by itself. So this guy right here, you would think would be a collection view, but it's not. It's just a scroll view, and then these are UI views, and I manage all of that myself. And I did that because I started working on this before collection view existed, and since then we have collection views, which are way nicer and so powerful. But because I'm so happy with scroll views, I think I'm gonna stick with scroll views for this guy up here. So let's add a bunch, right? And when we add a bunch, you can see we start scrolling left and right. And so what I want to do is just keep that idea and clean up these buttons. And I think that'll actually end up being easier than a collection view with a delegate and a data source and all of the other magic that we that it would require. All right, so stack stack controller. So we have this guy. This is our root view controller. We have, let's go up here. I think it's just a regular old scroll view. Yeah, this guy, the stack view controller. Sorry, stack controller view. Yep. Yep. So it's you. The controller threw me off because it's a controller view, not a view controller. Yeah, and it's just a scroll view right now. It's just a really dumb scroll view. So that's okay. So what I want to do is that logic currently lives here. And what I want to do instead is move this guy into that class. Start taking the logic out of this base controller and move it into the scroll view itself. So that's a self, list of stacks view. This is oops, that's a self. And then we just need to import a bunch of stuff. And then I think it's gonna be okay. All right. Plus button, yep. And this, oops, self and self. All right, cool. I like it. And yeah, switch to stack. So we need one of these as well. It's fine. And an add stack button, right? I'm loving the new Xcode. Its autocomplete is way better. I still get a small delay sometimes for some of my autocomplete, but it does pretty reasonably well. All right, let's give us a protocol. And this way we can pass our messages back to that primary controller. Add stack and switch to stack. What do we want to use for that? Yeah, stack ID, just a stack ID, that's fine. Yeah, it's really just going to be, that guy right there. Yep. Great. So how's everybody doing? What are you working on, George? He's watching. Anything exciting? Any interesting projects? Work? Play? Reload stack buttons. This is yeah, reload stack buttons is inside of that guy now, which means list stacks view. All right, we're going to refresh that way. And that guy is not a scroll view, it's a stack controller view. Right? First iOS game, an endless running game. Nice. That's awesome, man. Are you using a sprite kit for that? Or what are you doing for graphics and stuff? The only made one. It's not really a game. It's kind of a game. It's we did it a couple months ago. Man, maybe almost a year ago. It was kind of a build your own contraption physics simulator kind of game. It was a lot of fun. You could drop different parts into the simulator and connect them up and then hit play and they'd all interact together. It was a lot of fun to play with that. But I've never done any kind of like proper games. Even that one I just rendered in core graphics. I didn't do anything special with it. Let's do, instead of switch to stack, so this will be, oh, I need to add the delegate property. Let's do that here. Oops. Weak. And then stack controller view delegate. There we go. Switch to stack. And then we got to steal some of the logic from this guy. There we go. And that is sender. How do we feel? I think we feel okay about that. Kari and JT Ryan, thanks for hanging out. Creating the graphics in Photoshop. Nice. Nice. Photoshop's tough. But it's let's see, what are you angry about? Oh, yeah. That's dirty, but that's how we're going to do it. And then this guy. So switch to stack. Yep. Delete stack action. So this guy is going to be delete stack with in a string of stack UID. One thing that does seem to be throwing me off a little bit is, so if I'm on this line and then I command arrow to the beginning of the line, it puts me in front of the after the white space. And I'm used to it putting me before the white space on the proper front of the line, which is what I prefer. I don't know if that's a setting, but that's, oops, but that's super annoying that it's that it puts me here when I want it back here, because I use that all the time. Anyway, oh well. There's delete stack, there's add stack, there's switch to stack. I think that's all we want. Yep. So those are the delegate calls. So there's also a delete stack. And then our delegate. Pretty good. And then we need to set our delegate on this guy. Oops. Great. Look at us. And then we need to switch to stack. That's not going to do it. You shouldn't even be there. You need to be in here. Yep. Which means you also need to be in there. Great. So switch to stack. So that he needs to say this, that. So it'll go to the first stack ID, and that we should move to a preference some other time. We'll move that so that way if their last viewed stack is say 7, then they leave and come back to the app later, it'll start with 7. But for right now, it's just going to start on number 1, which is fine. So delete stack. I'm wondering, right now I did this all at the same time. I removed the subview, I deleted the model, and then I added if I needed to or switched to something else, and then went back to the UI. So I kind of mixed up a little bit of the logic and UI at the same time. I don't feel super good about that. It's okay. I think what we're going to do is that. Oops. Oh, what are you angry about? Yep. Yep, so that's sender. Sender tag is the index. Yeah, object at index. So that's our stack UID right there. And then I think we can talk to our delegate at that point. Does it not see that delete method? Right there. Oh, so I'm an idiot. That's fine. So that tells it to delete it from the model, and then this, I was wrong. This guy does not live here. I made a huge mistake. A huge mistake. Yeah, no, that guy should not have done that. Yeah, he still needs to be in here. What's he called? Yeah, so this needs to be. Let's pull this entire delete method back so I can rethink about it. So I was getting them mixed up. I was getting the buttons inside of that scroll view mixed up with the actual stack view itself, right? We don't want to mix those up. Then you still exist there and still exist there, right? Yeah. And so then you do that, this still needs to happen inside of this code. This, it can happen anywhere. It's fine. It's fine for it to happen here. I don't care too badly. This can also happen here. List of stacks, that's fine, and then that's fine. Yeah. So that's okay. So that means now when he deletes, he's going to, he's just going to tell the delegate. That's fine. That's fine. Oops. That's fine. I bet it's a key binding preference. I bet I can change the key binding. I'll have to look at that next time. Super annoying. All right, so self stack delegate add stack. Typos bound. Switch to stack. He switches, so we have switch, add, and delete. We have switch, add, and delete. We've done everything we need there. Actions. And then here we have switch, add, and delete, right? Because we're really good people, we're going to call it add, switch, delete. We're going to call it add, switch, delete, and we're going to call it add, switch, delete. Great. So now I think we compile, right? Are we using manual? Huh. How about that? All right. So he's weak there. Are you going to yell at me for that too? Apparently not. One thing I found after I upgraded Xcode, so I'm in 7.3. Yeah, it's still angry. Oh, I need to do that. That there were projects that built fine before Xcode 7.3, and then when I open them up here, I'm suddenly seeing different errors, which is fine, but just a little frustrating to have to fix it. The other one that I had was just imports. It was angry that some imports were missing, and yet it seemed to find things just fine in the previous one. So I don't really know what changed. All right, let's see if that compiles and runs. What I expect is that everything works the same. We just have a bit more logic inside of our stack controller now than we used to. Data Pullman, thanks for hanging out. And of course, I launched it up on the wrong guy. TD Bunting and Orvar. Thanks for joining. There it goes. That was the ugliest startup I've seen in a long time. So can we switch? We can still switch, it seems. So there's stack 1, there's stack 2. We can delete stack 2, which is nice. and we can add stack 10. So that's fine. Great. Good job, us. So let's commit that just so we're a little bit cleaner. Awesome. How you doing, Ovar? Doing pretty good? Having a good evening or morning, depending on where you are in life and in the world geography. What do I want to do now? Now I want to, so what it looks like. Today we said we were going to pretty it up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create some cell views. Yeah. I'm still not entirely sure what I want it to look like. So here's my thought, right? My thought is we have our bar at the top, and then we have our pages down here, right? Like that, over and over and over. I think I want those stack views up here that you can then scroll around in. And then let's say like these are going to be multiple pages, right? So it looks a bit more like a stack of paper. And then if say this guy in the middle is selected, then it's going to have a little arrow like that, right? And so then as you scroll back and forth, this arrow moves with this whole thing, moves together, right? And everything slides. I think that'll be fine. And then like only that guy, right? So if we have our stacks of paper up there, we have our arrow right there, and then there would be a maybe this will either be the name. I'm trying to figure out where to put the delete button as well. I hate buttons, to be honest. I don't like adding buttons. Of course, right now all it is buttons, but that's just because it's an ugly demo. Morning, yeah, it must be how early in the morning? I'm gonna guess your country. I'm gonna guess France until you tell me what time it is. In the U.S., it's evening. Yes, it's midnight, just after midnight where I am. So I would like them to have typable names for the stack, so that way they can name their document. I think that'll be okay. And then maybe that's what they do. They tap on the name, right? And then we can show a little window with the front page of their stuff that they just did, because they're really great at it. With right here with a title input, and then like a red delete button, and a duplicate button, maybe something like that. It'll be fine. Let's do that. That way, that's what I like. That way this guy up here is only the visible pieces of paper and a name. And then when they scroll, it'll be that with a name right at the top until they tap up here somewhere, and then it slides down, right, with pages, right? I like that. I think that's what we should do. +2 GMT, East Europe. Gosh. That'd be over Greece. Greece is East Europe. My Eastern Europe is bad. That's where Ukraine is, and Poland, maybe? Poland's pretty far east, isn't it? I'm going to go with Poland or Greece. Let's say Greece. Yeah, That's going to be my bet. All right, so let's go here. Let's add one of these. We're going to do a stack. Stack button. That's a really terrible name. Nope, we're going to do stack view, whatever. That's a terrible name too. Stack button view. Yeah, I don't know. Post USSR country, Ukraine. Ah, oh, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I should have stuck with Ukraine. I should have gone for it. Oh well. Let's go. Okay, there we go. I'm glad to have you on the stream. So +2 GMT, it's 7 a.m., 7:15 a.m., right? I'm 5 behind GMT right now, I believe. Testing my time zone literacy. All right, so we have a bunch of buttons. What I want to do instead of these buttons is import a mmstack button view, which feels good. And then here we will do, we'll call it a stack button loc knit frame cg make, no, rect make. All right, cg rect make and ns make rect are there to just give you a really bad time. It's not even giving me the ns options, but man, getting those backwards every time, evil. Terrible evil people do that. Self dot cg rect get height self dot bounds, right? So they're 200 wide each, which is probably plenty, I feel like. We're also going to show debug border on those. And then we're going to take these buttons away from them, right? And we'll put them in here. Knit with frame. It's fine. The delete we're actually not going to have inside of this view. We're only going to have a switch to stack button, and we're also going to have a rename stack button, right? Rename stack button, right? Feels good. That'll be R for rename. Pretty creative. Great. Tag. We don't care about tags. We don't care about tags. Yep. Don't care about you. We don't care about you. Great. Great. X is 100, which is fine because that puts it, we'll put it at 70. That'll center it for now. And then what else do we want to do? Oh, and stack UID. So that's how we're going to pass our data in. And then can't you do letter character at index? That's fine. Does that actually give? Oh, yeah, it does. That's fine. I just want something substring to index. There we go. All right. Switch to stack. All right, I think we have everything set up. So we should have basically the exact same UI, except now it has red squares in it, is the goal. And I think that'll be okay if that happens. And then once that happens, we can actually start making those red squares look a little bit nicer. From Chicago. No, actually, Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. All right, so the other thing that I don't like about life right now is those black squares. What on earth? It happens where the buttons are. I'll have to debug that later. That's new. That's definitely new. Maybe that's a QuickTime thing, because this is QuickTime right here that I'm using to show the screen. Is it? Let's see if it actually, I didn't even notice. No, it shows on the iPad too. Huh. I don't know. All right, we do not see any red squares. What did we do? What did we do wrong? Well, one thing we did wrong, he says to himself, is everything. X, so that's 200 times I. And then this is going to be 200, so we put the add button after everything else. And then our content size is that. 200 plus yeah, that'll be mostly okay, I think. Mark Tezee, thanks for hanging out, man. Welcome. All right, now we should see red squares. There they are. There's our red squares. Nothing in the red squares, which is a little surprising. Because we added stuff to the squares right here, except we didn't call the correct initializer. Yeah, we didn't call the correct initializer. And with frame and stack, do string there we go. And then I need to make that initializer public. All right, now we see the buttons. Yep, great. We do. They're stacked on top of each other, but that's okay. So now what we want to do when we're here, when we load the stack we have to get its path, shared instance, yeah. Where was I getting its path? Load paper stack view. Where's my load method? Load data. That's what I want. So, okay. All right, this is going to get me in trouble because I have a singular and a plural. Maybe I should just combine those. Because this guy, the stack manager, I can't really combine them the way they are now. Because this guy is a singleton and this guy is per stack. But this guy should not be here. He needs to be here. Right? Yeah. That's better. There's really no reason. And honestly, what we should do is it should be an instance variable because we're already a singleton. There's no use in anything else. So now you are going to get mad at me. Stacks manager. Stacks manager. Oh, no, that's shared instance. Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's a little tidier. Stacks manager. Progress. The next thing after this is, we need to. The next thing after this is going to be loading up the previews to show. And I might not. All right, that's fine. Pages. Yeah, some of these are all generated right now from the page object itself. I'm talking to myself in my head. I'm thinking about when we actually show the pieces of paper up here. I want to load in the actual pieces of paper from the disk. And to do that, I have to use this path, which means this object has to exist. But this object only exists for the currently loaded stack. So I should probably build these paths a different way. But that's okay. I don't want to care about that right now. What I do want to care about is we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way right now. Shared, so path for, there we go, stack UID. So this is where everything lives. Stack path. Oops. And so I want to show the top page, the very, very first page, that stack. So when I load that, visible plist path, So he saves to disk, load from disk. So what I might do, I could call this guy and he could load it and I could get the dictionary right away. I mean, that's not the worst way to go. That's probably the right way to go. This stack manager, where does he get built? He gets built inside of the view, I think. Yeah, he does. So that means this guy is only alive when the stack is loaded, and so he's not going to exist for unloaded stacks. But if I did that, then I could totally do it. And I might do that. I think that would be good. And I'm a little surprised, actually. I'm using a queue for saving. I don't know why I wouldn't also... Well, this is a queue per stack anyway, so it doesn't matter. Maybe I should use a global queue. So I'm only ever going to be saving one stack at a time. But then it would get hung up on all of the other ones that I'm loading if I end up using it to load. So if maybe that's a 9.3 thing, black bars. So if I'm using that if I'm loading from disk all of the plists right away, right? That's 1, 2, 3. That could be 20. That could be 100. That could be 500 stacks loading from disk all at once. Which means if a save operation is happening, it would have to wait on those 500 on those 500 operations, and I don't want the loading to block. So I think what we'll do is this is atomic. This guy is probably, isn't it with contents of file atomic? I bet it is. Well, it has to be. Yeah, of course it is. Okay, so that's what we should do then. It's okay for us to do this non-atomically. If we do this on a background thread, what happens if you access two files at the same time on different threads? I don't know. Akmudas, give me your advice. What happens when you access the same file on two threads? I don't know. Probably nothing good. I'm probably overthinking this. But the last thing I want to do is corrupt at this level, because it would corrupt the entire document. So if I screw up this file somehow, then they're not going to be able to load that document ever, and they would be really angry. So I think it's worth getting this one right. What we could do is, don't I have a disk cache already? Jot disk asset manager. That's for images. But I bet I could use this guy to do other things too. But that means this guy would be blocking for everybody. Image with contents of file. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I think this is the right way to go. I think what we do is we have this guy. Fine for him to have that method. But this guy is a class method. Right? Within this visible plist path, same business. They're going to come down here. They're now class methods. Right? Looking at your code makes me realize that I'm bad at Objective-C. That might not be true. Maybe I'm bad at Objective-C. Maybe you shouldn't trust one of us, but it might not necessarily be you. It might be me. That needs some work, right? Stack manager, and then this is going to be load from disk with bounds. Bounds for self.uuid, right? I think that's okay. And then this is visible plist for stack UUID. Pretty good. So now that guy's completely static, which we like. Or not static, but he's a class method. That guy's cleaned up a little bit. Oops, that was impressive. Okay. So now we have this guy, right? Which can be here. Load from disk with bounds is, I think we just always use the screen bounds. I believe. Bounds of the stack. And this stack view is always initialized to the bounds of the screen. A little ugly that I've passed that through the entire way, but we're gonna keep living with the bad decision. We're not going to refactor that right now. Means now finally we can come. We can refactor this later, so he won't clobber this guy, right? Yeah, because we'll do the same thing here. We're going to push the saving to a class method. And then this opq will be at the class level, which means almost this entire guy is, yeah, this is kind of a, I think it's going to be okay. I think that's what we're going to do. Decisions have been made. I think that'll be fine. That'll be fine. It's a little ugly that this is now going to be like 90% class methods. With very little kind of internal logic to itself, but that's okay because it's going to give us multi-threaded save load, which is what we want. We want that to be safe across threads, and that's really the important thing. So if the code is not the most beautiful thing in the world, that's okay. Why do we want to duplicate the page? I think because we were debugging if we could find duplicates, possibly. Why would I want that? Yeah, that's all that was. Great. All right, so now that means this guy can say, we don't even need the stack path. We need the mmstack singular manager. So I can use, what is that, option to go kind of between words. I wish it would stop at the capital letter in between so it could let me easily get into in between text and button or stacks and manager. That would be nice. A boy can dream. Load disk from bounds, CG rect 0, stack UID. Is that okay? No, because you're actually building page objects. So what I want is, see, I've done this all wrong. Right, like that, and then this can go here, and then this will actually be shared format. Oops, sorry. That, and then this is just going to be our pages. So this is only arrays of the UDIDs per page. And then this guy is going to be visible pages, looping over their visible page IDs. And this guy is going to be looping over the hidden page IDs. So that way, now this guy only cares about the plist. This is better. This is definitely better. This is what I was wondering about. And now this guy actually builds out our page objects, our kind of structure model objects. That's better, right? And so then a to-do item will be actually load from disk for stack, right? Because we don't even need the bounds at that point because it's not doing anything. There, that's better. That is the way the world works. I like it. Cool. Cool. That's better. So now here, that's what we want. We want that. Stack page IDs, right? And then the page we want to load, UUID, is page IDs, visible pages, I think, first object. Let me make sure I got that guy right. I'll pull that out into a define later, so that way I don't have to type it because that's dirty. But that's okay for now. And now we're just going to log and make sure that should show page, right? And it might not have one. Actually, if the list is empty, we might need to show something else, but that's a problem for another day. But we should at least start seeing that show up in the logs, right? Yeah. Yep. All this for a thumbnail. Lots of nulls, but here's some. Here we go. So that's good news, right? That's the class type of the page. Right now we only have one class type anyway, but that's for future extensibility. And then here is our UUID for the page. So that will let us show show our business, which is good. So let's do this. We will go UI image view, page thumbnail, right? The page thumbnail needs to be a scale of our UI image view, knit with frame, CG rect. Actually, CD rect scale. Can we do that? Transform. That's okay. And we're going to do, I think we have UI screen, right? Main screen scale, main screen, that's what I want. This guy is what I keep forgetting about. There's our screen. CG rect. Screen bounds. Oh, I want the CG float. Scale equal self dot CG. No. Yeah. CG rect get width self dot bounds divided by CG rect get width screen bounds, right? And then we want 90% of that. So that's our scale. So screen bounds and CG affine transform make scale. That might not be the most efficient. I think that's a moderately efficient way to find the correct rect size that we want. Not. But what we're going to do, yep. And that means it's 5% to the left. So we want CG rect. Thumb bounds is really frame at that point. Thumb frame is this guy. X equals CG rect get width of self.bounds times 0.05, right? And that should center it in our view for us. This doesn't even matter. That will also center it much easier with a lot less ridiculousness. So that's fine. So now this thumbnail we need to load here. And let's just get rid of that too. Yeah, we don't need any of that business in our life. Thumb. UID, right? So our thumbnail is equal to UI image width, contents of file. So now we do need that, whatever it's called, that path. Stack path, stacks, yeah, stacks manager. Don't you lie to me, it's right here. Yeah, you're angry at me for some reason. Why are you angry at me? Right there. Oh, Is that why you're? Huh. I don't know. Anyway, that's fine. Equals string by appending path component pages path component, which is our page UID, and then I think it's called, excuse me, I'll pretend you didn't hear that. Put on stream. What a terrible person. Scrap paper. So thumbnail 2, I think that's the method I want to look at, because I need to figure out, I got a bunch of different thumbnails that I could use. I want to make sure I'm using the right one. Cached image view. Scrapped thumb. That's what I want right there. Page. There we go. Look at us saving bytes. So that's what we want. Oh yeah. Huh. Huh, huh, huh. All right, let's not worry about that guy yet. So this is for pages that are bundled into the app when it ships, and this is for pages that the user creates. And so there could be two different thumbnails, right? Because this guy loads from the bundle, and then this guy loads from the documents folder. So they're a little different, but that's fine. What I care about is that right there is what I care about. Oops. Path component. So that should be okay. Yeah. And then that means we should have image for UUID is that, right? And we want stack. No, we want the page UUID and thumb. I think that's okay. Yeah, I like that. No, it was wrong because it's not loading an image. So let's look at that. Let's look at that path. That's the stack. Here we get its pages. Inside of that page should be that guy. Yeah. So the other thing we're going to do real quickly, that's the wrong one, is devices, add pro, download. It's fine. That way we can compare what is on disk, right, with the path it's actually looking at. So stacks, this should be the stack directory, right? So then this guy, so then pages, then the UDID. Yeah, then there's scrapped thumb down there. If the page doesn't have anything written on it, it would be blank, I suppose. Which is interesting. That's a different case I hadn't thought about, because what my thought was is that if this guy is nil, then that means the stack is empty. But that's not necessarily true, because here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So which one is that? That guy has a bunch of pages. Oh, I can't switch stacks right now. Yeah, so this guy's, his first page is blank. So if I write, oh sorry, you can't see that. If I write blank, can I fit it? Stuff, right? You can't spell. Oh, there we go. Great. Great. So now that should have a thumbnail on its very, very first page. So now we should get something for that because we just drew on it, right? Yep. Yeah, we got an image for that guy. So that means we have page path here, and then, oops, this will actually be page path, thumb path, right? Oh, no, it did need that, sorry. And then we load from the thumbnail, so we can say if this file manager, default manager, file exists at path, then we load our thumbnail. Page path else, right? So this is page is white. Page is white, and this is no pages, right? So that's our three cases. That's what's going on. Yeah. There we go. So we should have it, but don't. So this is our only error case, really. And that's where the file exists, but it does not load into an image correctly, so it's corrupted somehow. That's what that means. I don't think we're going to hit that. So we should see, now when we load, we should see a bunch of these, a bunch of those, and a bunch of those. Should probably only see one or maybe two of those. I think we'll just see one of these, 2 or 3 of these, and about 10 of those, I think. That's what I think is happening. Yeah. Yeah. We have a thumbnail. Page is white. No pages, no pages. Page is white. Yeah. That's good. That's what I expect. So that's what I like to see. So now I want to make an image that is this size. White thumb. Dispatch once. UI image begin. No, CG context begin. No, it's UI context begin. Begin image context. Look at that. Look at that autocomplete. You see that? Begin image context, and it's UI graphics begin. And that's beautiful that it gives me. I love this autocomplete. It's the best thing. So there's our thumb size. So now we can create thumb frame.size, right? And this will actually be white thumb is equal to UI image from current context. And then I need to delete that context. How do I delete it? How do I clean that up? I just need to call that. That's all I care about. Great. Size. Frame bounds. Here we go. So now this gives me a white rectangle. So now I have a white rectangular image. So here I can do page, thumbnail. There's the white image. This will be the thumbnail. Oops, thumb. This will be our white thumb. And this will be what we're going to do for now. I'm going to change this later, but we're going to go missing thumb. And we're basically going to do the same thing there. Should probably get the image after we fill it white. Be helpful. And we're also going to say missing. Oops, UI font. System font size 9. Right? We're going to spell missing correctly. system font of size. There we go. So now this guy will draw. What you can probably do is UI color, black color, set stroke. I think yeah, we'll just set fill, that's fine. I can't remember if it's fill or stroke when you draw text. I could also put it here, but I don't really care. That's missing thumb, and then this will be missing thumb. Right, so now we should actually see page thumbnail. Now we should see that thumbnail show up in our buttons. That's what I believe will happen. And then we're also going to go ahead and make our button stack button. When you add a target, does that retain? Does it retain the target? No, it does not, which is good, because I don't want it to. There we go. Now it's going to have a full business. And then what I want is add target. Oh, that's in UI control. I want that method is going to be here as well. Oops, no, I don't need that. Are you angry about the... Huh. I didn't know you could needed that. And we're actually just going to pass this straight to the button. Right? So that feels good. And so then in here, when I create it, I can say add target self selector, switch to stack. Jump inside. But now I can't use the sender is going to be wrong because the sender is going to be the button. Oh, gosh, you know, it's just these little things. It's these little things. I try to take a shortcut and I keep coming back to delegates. I don't know why I like delegates so much, but I just love them. Just love them. But you're wrong. You're going to be the ID. Are you kidding me? Come on. In a string? You can't complete in a string? What's wrong with you? And then you have a interface. There we go. So now you exist here, and you we can just pass straight through, which is nice. That's fine. Makes that prettier, so I'm getting happier about life. Let's add one of these. We'll put the atomic, please, weak. And then here, switch to stack action. Self delegate, switch to stack, self.uui stack. Did I not even save the, no, I didn't. Get rid of that idea. That idea is dead. Now we come up here, and instead of adding a target, we set our delegate. Probably better anyway, because we're going to have to add a bunch of stuff for caching and that sort of stuff later on. But I just want a button. I want the button to work so we can switch stacks again, and I want it to show thumbnails. That's all I want. Let's see what happens when we run it, shall we? We shall. Hey, look at that. Things. Every other is a white. So that's bad. That first one is correct. I cannot switch to anything. Now I should have, oh gosh. Control, then touch up inside. So now I should be able to switch, and I can verify which pages it's actually loading for those thumbnails. Helgen, good to see you again. All right, yeah, so now it's loading, now it's switching properly, which is good. It's not loading our thumbnails correctly, which is interesting. Pretty sure you can put the same UI image in a different, in multiple. There's blank stuff. This is, what does this guy say? Other, right? He needs to be first. One. There we go. So now he's first. Has thumb, page is white, no pages. So the third guy should definitely, doesn't make sense that they're alternating like that. Forever and ever and ever. This guy is also not even close to correct. So 2, oh gosh, 200. Yeah, plus 70, not 270. That's right. Width, it's fine. Our width here is 200, 200 times I. 100 times I. Our content size should be correct. Page thumbnail, so thumb, don't have it yet. Page is white, missing thumb. All right, so that's interesting. That's interesting. So this guy's pulling it out one by one. 200 times I is 0. This is stack 1, or this is stack 0, this is stack 1. But it's spacing them out every other. Yeah, why would it be doing that? Why would it be spacing them out every other? Could it be... What is our actual frame there? That should be something like 20. It should be 20 at the x coordinate right there. Or 0, it's fine. Oh yeah, because I never scaled it down slightly. That's fine. So yeah, so that's the size of the thumbnail, which is fine with me. We come up here with frame 1000, 1200. I don't understand how I get myself into these kinds of situations where things are just, I mean, it's just bizarre. That's just absolutely bizarre. Why would it be every other like that? Why would it be every other? Makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going absolutely crazy. Orvar, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to get these, so these different stacks up here of pages have, so this is number 3, right? Number 3. That's number, that says other. And then this is number 4, right? So when I launch it, I should see blank stuff. Oh, sorry, you can't even see that because I don't have it up on the screen. I should see blank stuff, then I should see other at the second position instead of the third position. In the third position, I should see that 3 right there. And in the fourth position, I should see this 4. That's what I should see. And instead, everything is spaced out by 1, which is just mind-boggling to me because I'm not spacing them out by 1. See, I mean, they're all one set apart. Which is weird because when I add them here, I have this UUID for the stack. And then stack button.frame.origin.x, right? So that's where it actually lives, and that's what we're going to print out. What we're also going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to do We're going to do that. All right. So now when we load it up, we're going to see which button has which ID. We're going to see what its x-coordinate is. Am I wearing a hat because I'm going bald? Oh man, I wish. I'm not going bald, but I'm sure I will eventually. It runs in my family, so I would not be surprised if I did. All right. Yeah, so 0, 200, 400, 600, 800. So that's at position 200, right? This is 1024 across, so that, yeah, it fits 5 pages. So what if we do, is there any reason you know what it might be? Am I using that for anything? We're using bounds. I was going to say, like, this guy has an x of 200, right? When he comes in, the second button, x of 200. So if he was this guy's an x of 200. If he adds an image view that also has an x of 200, then it would be offset by 1, right? And then this guy has an x of 400, and if he adds an image view with an x of 400, it would be that guy, right? And so that makes sense if this image view is getting added with the same offset, but this thumb frame, I thought we decided had a bounds of 0. Didn't we decide that? I think we decided that. Matthew Safaria. Welcome to the stream. So here, so thumb frame 0, 0, 0. Yeah, so that's not. That's what makes sense, but that's not what's happening. That's definitely what makes sense. All right, what if we do this? If I is equal to 2, we'll do if it's the second button, right? Right? So we should see only one of them, and one of them is going to have a red border, and inside of it should be a purple border. And it should be on the second button, right? We have a red border, but we don't have a purple border, perhaps because it was shown below the red border. Kresk, welcome to the stream. Is it running? Run, please. I'm waiting on it. It's not even doing anything. All right, tell me if that makes sense. We have EB, EB, 6E, 6E. It does say 6E in that thumbnail, even though it's right here. It says 6E, even though it's really hard to read. So it's showing the right thing. You know what else we can do to give us a little bit more? We're just going to do that, and that way we can load per button. Right? We'll still do this to load those things, and we're also going to do foreground color, because this guy was not working. Page thumbnail, he still gets added, that's fine. But this guy right here gets put here, right? Load from stack, stack pages. Yeah. Right? Is that good? And so now here, if we only want to load that second one, then we can only load the second one. And now we should see exactly where that second guy's image is getting put. So it's definitely getting put in the wrong place. Why would it be put in the wrong place? Page thumbnail. See, I don't have any flexible, like it doesn't, this shouldn't. That doesn't make any sense. That's not it. That's not the issue. All right, this is its first. Oh gosh, you know what it is? Oh man. Oh, I blame you. I blame all of you. All of you. Can't believe you'd do that. Can't believe you would let me do that. See what we're doing? See what we're doing? Cannot believe you guys. Hanging me out to dry. Absolutely hanging me out to dry. That's exactly what it is. This guy right here The thumbnail center, so this button center in its parent frame is 300, right? And so the 300x is getting set to the image view inside of that button, which is this guy's 300x over here. Tell you what, I think that right there is going to do it. We don't need that resizing mask. That's incredible. I'm going to blame that on 1:30 in the morning. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And now all of our thumbnails should line up. Beautifully. And they do. And they do. Yep. Which means now this guy at the end, he's nothing. That means I calculated my add button wrong down here. 200 times I plus 70. Yeah, I was wondering why that was plus 400. Cool, so that's good. So now in our stack button, this frame can be a CG rect inset frame. View, content, mode, aspect, fit. So now we'll have some buffer in between those icons. There we go. Progress. Progress is being made. Now the entire page should fit instead of getting cropped at the bottom. I did, Orvar. I have spotted all the errors. Look at that. No, that looks so much nicer. Except for this ugly debug label that we don't need anymore. This missing. So instead, we don't want to fill it with white. We want UI Bezier path. Page outline. CG rect inset of this right here. And this will actually be page thumb frame. That. And we want a rounded rect. Corner radius of 10, right? Line width 2. How do you do dash? How do you do dashes? Hiamgosu. What is loose leaf? Loose leaf is a it's kind of a sketch. It's a sketchpad kind of whiteboard app right now. Dashed line. But soon it's going to be a kind of whiteboarding app plus note-taking app. So that's what I'm adding right now. So right now, if I go into a page, I have a couple different tools. I have a marker, which is a little bit thicker than the pen, which is, and then there's a highlighter, right? And you can have different colors. There's images that you can import, right? And then when you draw on one of those images, it actually draws on the image, which is cool. And then you can use scissors and actually cut images into pieces and move them around, right? And then you can move them between pages as well. So it's really easy to kind of just whiteboard. Is it whiteboard instead of blackboard because you support Donald Trump? No, I do not support Donald Trump, interestingly. Did people not call it whiteboard? Is that a US thing? What do you call it? I mean, blackboard is like a chalkboard, and a whiteboard is like a marker board, right? What would you call a marker board? What would you call that? Besides whiteboard. Anyway, so that's loose leaf, and it used to support just only one kind of stack of pages, and what we're working on is making it support multiple stacks of pages. So you can tap these buttons at the top to switch between stacks of pages, right? So that's what we're doing. But this dashed line is right. Dash pattern. That's what I want. Isn't that? Oh, no. That's what I want. The other one was for a layer. Okay. Pretty good. Const CG float star. So are you angry about that because it's a float instead of a CG float? All right, fair enough. Donald Trump will win the elections just for the lulz. So that might be a real possibility. I mean, this has been the most bizarre election season I have ever seen. Man, we will see. Yeah, not thrilled with that idea, but who knows? Thanks, Games. Welcome, man. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Stroke. Well, I say man. I've done that a lot. Might not be a man. I don't know. White color. Set stroke. There we go. So now we should have an outline for the blank pages. I think that would look okay. Hopefully that looks moderately okay. I have no idea what this dash pattern stuff did. I did at one point, but it would be fun if he became president. He's trolling the US. Yeah, man, it feels like a troll, that's for sure. Yeah, so there's the dashed lines. Those dashes are way too tight, though. So 2, 6, and then 4, 2. I don't know if this is the line and this is the spacing. I think so. So if I do 6, 2, set line dash, what is count and phase? The number of values in pattern, 2. And probably the phase with which to start, the offset of the pattern to start, so we can just start at 0. That's fine. Let's try that. Humans are the most useless human beings on the planet. No, you're only 10 years old, but war means death, and death is bad. Death is bad, that's true. Great way to clean up. World War III. Yeah, it's, I mean, so even if he does not become president, which is still a very real possibility, so now the dashes look a little bit better, but they're still way too short. Let's do like 8 and 6. Let's do that. No, let's do 12. Let's do 12 and 10. Yeah. Let's do that, and let's do light gray. That'll look moderately better. Even if he does not become president, this will be the last we talk about Trump. But even if he does not become president, he's already changed how presidential politics is run, how it happens. Here we go. It's all right. We need to change the phase a little bit, I believe. So the phase, what if we start the phase at 4? Can I do that? I think I can. Thanks, games. Are you a games maker? What games are you working on right now? Are you building anything? Are you building anything particularly fun? Let's do 8, maybe. Maybe 8's better. Let's try that. 2D retro multiplayer RPG. Oh man, I love RPGs. I love them. That was the first games I ever made. Well, the first game I ever made was on a calculator, it's on a TI calculator. And it was a very dramatic, exciting game called Guess a Random Number. The computer would think of a number, and then you would guess it. And that was the game. But shortly after that, as I continued to make games for the calculator, for the graphing calculator, I made a text-based RPG. I made a bunch of them. I made some that were school themed, so they had like our teachers and our principal and stuff as characters and enemies and bosses and stuff. 12, I guess we're going for 12. And at one point I tried to make a graphical RPG in QBasic. That one was fun. With man, see, I can't get rid of the stupid little dot in the top left corner. 16. It just does not make sense to me. It had 16 color graphics, maybe. I think it was 16 color graphics. I drew all of the graphics in code, so there were no pre-rendered bitmaps or anything. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. All right, that's a little better. 14. This is ridiculous that I can't get that stupid little dot. If you do that nowadays, you get expelled for attacking your teachers. Yeah, it was a. So there was a game a long time ago. I don't know if it's still around. There's a game called Drug Wars on the calculator, right? And it was a text-based game, and you would start in a city, and you would buy marijuana or whatever, and then you would fly to a different city and then sell it for a better price and buy cocaine. And you fly to a different city and sell the cocaine and buy heroin or whatever, right? You'd sell drugs. It was a terrible moral disaster of a text-based game. But we played that a lot in school on our graphing calculators. And you know what? Actually, yeah, we'll just keep guessing for a little while. And so what I did is I made that was the school-based RPG, and instead of drugs, it was candy because you weren't allowed to have candy in class, and so you could buy Skittles and Runts and M&Ms and Snicker bars and whatever. And in each different classroom you went to, you could sell, oh yeah, math class, they really want Snicker bars, that's $1 each, great, but nobody cares about Skittles, so you can buy the Skittles for 35 cents. And then you go to English class and you can sell the Skittles for a high price. And oh no, the principal caught you, now you're in detention. And anyway, it was a fun riff on the drug game. I enjoyed that a lot. TI 83, yeah, it was a TI. I had an 82. That was my first one, and then I think was it in college? I got an 86, TI 86, or maybe in yeah. I think I went from an 82 to an 86. I might, yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. This dot is absolutely destroying my life. We're just going to go up by 1. We're just going to go up by 1 until we do it. So what kind of RPG is it? Is it like like a fantasy RPG with magics and spells and that kind of stuff, or? No, you know what? You know what? I'm mucking around with the wrong thing. This can be 11. That's fine. We just need this guy to be 1 more or 1 less. It's the spacing. Spacing is the problem. Last weekend you put it. Yeah, I think mine's in a closet somewhere. I mean, I haven't touched it in over 10 years. So. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun programming on the calculator. That's QBasic. Um, yeah, that's so much better. Okay, maybe just do 1212. That's fine. QBasic was the first programming I really did. Um, I did a lot in that, and then after QBasic, I got the graphing calculator. And I show you my screenshot link. Yeah, as long as it's kid safe, as long as it's safe for work, you can link it. That's fine. Yeah, there we go. So that's better. So now it shows that those are blank lists. And now we're just going to write the word empty in the middle, and then we're going to be done with life. Empty, draw in rect. No, I actually want size with attributes is what I want. Adders. Cool, man. That pixel art looks awesome. Nicely done. Yeah, that looks great. That's really good. How long have you been working on that? Yes, font attribute name, and this will be UI font system font of size, and we'll make it a size 20. Yes, foreground color of UI color light. We'll go for light gray for now and see what happens. Yeah, too long. Man, I know the feeling on that. I've definitely done that with projects, but that's where you get quality from. I mean, you get quality from that just ridiculous ambition and focus. I think that can be a really good thing. Rect stir rect equals cg rect 0. But now the important question is, when are you going to ship it? How much do you have left? So you've been working on it for 3 years. So too much work refactoring the engine, being distracted doing other things. Yeah. So I've been there for sure. When do you think you want to? When do you think you want to actually show it, actually finish it? I mean, frame dot size dot width minus direct size dot width. I think that's the correct maths for that. Height feels right, and so now I can do empty draw in rect attributes. There we go. I think that's okay. I have the engine done this summer and then content. And then initial release by Christmas. Nice. Yeah, no, I know, man. Yeah, done does not mean done. Yeah, yeah. Things are shipped, but they're never done. That's for truth. That is absolutely for truth. So the X size with attributes, stir size. Oh, well, that would do it. You dummy. Use the correct size, shall we? Now I think we've got it. Now I think we've got it. Yeah. Yeah, loose leaf. So loose leaf is another one of those things that has become a yeah. There we go. Now it just says empty. That's fine for now. I don't mind that. Loose leaf has definitely become just a labor of love. For the stuff I'm doing for it now, I'm doing for me, and then I think other people will also find it useful. But I'm on year. I'm definitely over 3 years into this. Not all full time, but like 3 years of working at it over and over and over. Okay, cool. Can load thumbnails finally, right? And I think I missed, yeah, get rebase. And that needs, oops, no, not that one. That one can just be a pick. This one needs to be a reword. Because I forgot the GitHub label. There we go. Awesome. Alexandru, welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. All right, cool. All right, I streamed for just a little over. How much can I show of it? Yeah, let me pull it up. I'll give you guys a brief tour. Right. So this is what we're working on now. So the multiple documents. But if you have a page open in it, I'll get the icons from wiggling around. So when I rotate it back and forth, you see the icons rotate with it. So that way the icons from my perspective are always in portrait mode. That was a fun touch. But anyway, so there's a pen, there's the marker, there's the highlighter, right? So it's made for easy whiteboarding, just easy ideas that you can kind of throw down and talk between two people. So if you're sitting in a meeting, you can show your idea visually with somebody really, really quickly. And then to do that, you have those very, very simple drawing tools and a few simple colors. You can import images into the page, and so you can import more than one. You can import as many as you want. I'll take a picture of my ceiling, right? You can shake an image, and that's what changes the order. If you draw on an image, so we'll draw on Mr. Spaceman right here. We'll give him an outline, right? And that drawing sticks with it. You can also cut with scissors, and so you can cut images into any shape you want. If you have one you like, you can pull it with 4 fingers. So I'm holding it with 2 fingers to move it around, and then you can also grab it with 2 other fingers and pull it and stretch it until it pops into 2 different pieces. You can. There's a bunch of gestures for pulling pages in. Oops, that pulled the other apps in, but you can pull multiple pages in. You can peek behind to look at things behind. You can do the same thing here. You can grab a page and kind of peek behind pages. You can there's a ruler. So the ruler, if you pinch out, you get a straight line, and then you can draw anywhere and it snaps to the line, so you get a nice straight line. And if you pinch inward, then it actually pinches the ruler into a curve, and so now when you draw anywhere, it snaps to the curve. So you can draw curved lines really easily. And then you can export, and you can export to a bunch of different places. I think Imager, is that working? Yeah. So that just copied a link, and so then I could paste that link into an email or instant message or whatever, and they could see it online. Or you can save it to Camera Roll or Twitter or email or whatever else. Like you can send it pretty much anywhere. So I wanted it to be really, really easy to import and export and get stuff in and out. And what I'm working on now is trying to get it to work with a pencil and to get it to be better as a note-taking app instead of just like a really loose drawing app. I want people to be able to write kind of longhand notes and have it be more of a proper notebook than just scratch paper that you might throw away. It's free right now. Thanks Games said how much? Yeah, it's just free, so you can go download it right now. It's iPad only, so it's not on the phone. But yeah, it's free. Once I ship all of the note features that I want to do in this next release, I might start charging for it again. I don't know. I'm very much an engineer. I'm not a marketer, and that's been my struggle. That's definitely been my struggle. It's been my struggle because it means that I built some features that I care strongly about that others didn't necessarily care strongly about. And in addition to probably hitting a slightly wrong or kind of mismatched feature set for the audience, I just didn't market it well. It was really, really difficult to market. So I'm hopefully going to do a better job of that if and when I ever release this kind of version 2 that I'm working on. But we'll see. Santi, welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. No Apple devices, just Android. Yeah, I've only done Apple Dev. I have a Kindle, so that's my only Android device. But I haven't done any Android Dev. But anyway. But yeah, I think with that it is 2 a.m. where I'm sitting. So I think I better call it a day. But if you enjoyed it, feel free to follow. I'm going to try and start streaming more, probably around the same time or so. And so I think you get an email when I stream if you want that. So feel free to follow if you want that. Otherwise, isn't it a streaming thing to do to have all the viewers go to somebody else's channels? Looks very well featured. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, I hope so. I think these extra few like note-centric features, and especially like the multiple documents, I think the multiple documents is going to help a lot because that's also going to give me multi-page export, and that's really going to help a lot too, I think. Thanks, Game Santi. Thanks for following, guys. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think this next round of features will really round it out, so it fits. So it fits specific use cases really, really well, more than just me. Like it's going to fit a lot of other people really well. I think the simple markers and coloring stuff that I have now is okay, but getting the fine-tipped pen, this pen right here is a lot thinner than the one that's currently in the App Store. So that helps because then I can, you can write is a test, right? My handwriting sucks, but you can actually write and read it at a normal scale, less than a marker. But anyway, yeah, let's see who else is streaming. Who else is streaming right now? Polycero, Polycere.io. You want to go jump into that guy's stream? I think that would be fun. Oh, new follower. Yeah, now it shows up on the stream. That's awesome. That's new. That's a new feature, I think. Cool. Yeah, let's all go jump into Polycere's stream for a while. I think that would be fun. And I'm gonna call my stream for now. But thanks, guys, for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. I had fun. I will hopefully do it again in the next couple of days. And we'll go from there. But anyways, thanks, guys. I will talk to you later, and I will see you in Polyseer's chat very shortly.